You are born into a Lakota band somewhere on the vast sea of grass that will one day be called the Great Plains. Your mother delivers you in a teepee that smells like pine smoke and dried buffalo hide. There is no hospital, no health insurance claim to file, no nurse handing your parents a laminated packet called Welcome to Parenthood. Just the earth, the sky, and the sound of your first cry cutting through the cold morning air. Your grandmother wraps you in soft deerskin and whispers your temporary name into your ear. You won't keep this name. Names are earned here, not assigned at a government counter with a number and a waiting room chair. From the moment you can walk, the plains teach you. Not through textbooks, not through standardized tests, through experience. Your father takes you to the river before sunrise and shows you how to read the current. Your uncle points at a ridgeline and tells you what the shape of the grass means, whether something large passed through recently, whether the wind is carrying your scent toward the tree line, whether today is a hunting day or a patience day. You are 8 years old and you already know more about survival than most adults in the modern world will ever learn scrolling through YouTube at 2 in the morning. By the time you are 12, you can ride. Not, I took lessons at a stable ride. Ride. Full gallop across open prairie, bareback, steering with your knees while your hands stay free. The horse is not a pet. The horse is a partner, an extension of your body and your intention. Together, you are something the plains have rarely seen. Fast, precise, and completely at home. Your band moves with the seasons. In summer, you follow the buffalo herds north. In winter, you pull back to sheltered valleys where the wind can't find you as easily. This is not wandering. This is strategy. You know every creek, every landmark, every shift in the sky that means weather is coming. You don't need a weather app. You are the weather app. The buffalo is everything. Let that sink in. One animal, one single species provides your food, your clothing, your shelter, your tools, your fuel, and your spiritual anchor. You waste nothing. The hide becomes your teepee cover and your winter robe. The bones become needles and knives. The sinew becomes bowstring. The stomach becomes a cooking pouch. Even the dried dung becomes fuel for the fire on nights when wood is scarce. Your people have been running this system for generations. It is not primitive, it is elegant. It is a closed-loop supply chain that any modern logistics company would spend millions trying to replicate and still get wrong. At 15, you go on your first vision quest. You ride out alone into the hills with no food and no water, and you sit with the silence until something speaks back. This is not metaphor. This is medicine. The elders don't call it a mental health retreat. They don't charge $3,000 for the experience. They just send you out and trust that you will come back changed, because you always do. You come back with a name, a real name, one you carry for the rest of your life like a coat that was made specifically for your body. Your first real raid comes shortly after. A neighboring band has taken horses, yours specifically, and this is not something that gets resolved with a strongly worded letter or a court filing. You ride with 6 other warriors before dawn. You move quietly. You think clearly. You get the horses back, and you ride home before the sun is fully up. No one files a police report. No one calls their insurance company. The matter is settled. Life continues. By 25, you are respected. Not famous, not verified on any platform, respected, which in your world is worth considerably more. The elders listen when you speak in council. The younger boys watch how you handle your horse and try to imitate your posture. You have a wife, a teepee you set up together, and a role in the band that is yours and only yours. The social structure around you is more complex than outsiders will ever give it credit for. There are clans, societies, councils, spiritual obligations, trade relationships that span hundreds of miles, and a diplomatic language of gifts and ceremony that has been refined over centuries. You don't need a LinkedIn profile to network. You need a good reputation and the right eagle feather at the right ceremony, and doors open across the plains. You are part of something larger than yourself, and you know it. This is not something every person in every era gets to feel. You feel it daily. Then one morning, someone in your band comes back from the Eastern Trail with news. there are people coming from across the Great Water. You've heard versions of this story before. Traders, explorers, strange men with hair on their faces and clothing made of materials you've never touched. Some of them have been peaceful. Some of them have not. But the numbers being reported now are different. These aren't visitors passing through. These people are reading the land differently than you are. They are looking at the plains and seeing something to be divided, fenced, filed, and owned. And they have a document, several documents actually, that they believe gives them the authority to do exactly that. You don't have a copy of these documents. You were not consulted during the drafting process. You did not sign anything. But according to the logic arriving from the East, that is not really a requirement. Think of it as the world's worst terms and conditions agreement. Except instead of losing access to a music streaming service, you lose access to everything you have ever known. The changes don't come all at once. That would almost be easier. Instead, they arrive in layers, each one compounding the last. First, the diseases come. Your immune system has never met smallpox, measles, or cholera. These illnesses move through your band like fire through dry grass, quietly at first, and then all at once. You watch people you love disappear in days. The medicine you know, the plants, the ceremonies, the sweat lodge, helps with some things. Not this. Nothing in your tradition prepared you for this because nothing in your world ever produced this. You lose elders. You lose children. You lose the people who carry knowledge that exists nowhere else. Not written down, not recorded, just held in living memory and now gone. The buffalo herds begin to shrink. Not because the land can't support them anymore, because men with rifles are shooting them from moving trains for sport, sometimes leaving entire carcasses to rot in the sun, and nobody is stopping them. You watch the herds that once darkened the horizon for miles disappear year by year. Your closed-loop system is being dismantled from the outside. By the time you are 40, the pressure has become something you carry in your chest at all times. Your band has been pushed from the best grazing lands. The treaties, those documents again, keep being redrawn. Every time a new one is signed, the boundary moves inward. The land you were guaranteed last year is now designated for something else. There is no appeals process. There is no customer service line. There is just a new map with your future on it, drawn by people who have never stood on the land they are dividing. You fight. Of course you fight. You are a Plains Indian warrior. Fighting is not a last resort. It is a language. Your war parties are faster, more mobile, and more knowledgeable about the terrain than anything the army sends after you for years. You win battles, real battles, against trained soldiers with better weapons, because you know the land and they don't, because you fight for something and they fight for a paycheck. But the math doesn't work in your favor. For every soldier who falls, 10 more arrive. Your numbers are going the other direction. The final blow doesn't come from a battlefield. It comes from a policy meeting you were never invited to. Somewhere in a building you've never seen, in a city you've never visited, men in suits make a decision about your future. Reservations, relocation, assimilation. Words that sound administrative from a distance and feel like demolition from the inside. You are given land. Not your land. Different land. Smaller. Less fertile. Far from the rivers your people have followed for generations. You are handed this land with the same energy a company gives a severance package. Here is what we are offering you. Sign here. This conversation is now over. You are in your 60s now. The teepee is gone. The horse is still there. Horses you will always have. But the open plains are gone. The buffalo are nearly gone. The ceremonies continue in smaller circles, quieter voices, watched by people who are trying to remember what used to feel natural. Your grandchildren are being taken to schools far from home, schools where they are told to forget the language you whispered into their ears when they were born. Schools where the name the plains gave them is replaced with something easier to file on a form. You sit outside in the evening and you watch the sky the same way your father taught you. The clouds still move the same. The wind still carries the same information. The land still knows you, even if the maps no longer say so. You lived with absolute freedom, and you lived to see it systematically removed. You loved something vast, and you watched it get fenced, divided, and renamed. You built a life from scratch with your own hands, and you watched someone else's paperwork override it. The plains didn't fail you. The land didn't run out. The system that sustained your people for 40,000 years didn't collapse on its own. It was collapsed for you, by people who looked at everything you had built and called it empty. You were never empty.